Hi.
Hi, Mika. How are you today?
We are recording, I guess.
Yes.
How you doing today? You good, girl?
I am. You know what? I have to tell you.
Okay.
It's been, every month we say it's been a crazy month, and that's just what life is. But I so look forward to our You Good Girl days because first of all, we get to catch up on everything that's going on. We talked for a little while before this, and we've caught up on things. But it's just, I don't know, it's like therapy almost, right?
Yeah.
So
no, I agree. Like, I was driving in my car thinking to myself,
can't wait to see my friend
I gotta
Susan.
add this. Well, yes, but I can't wait to talk about this on the pod, or I had this particular experience. So yeah, I mean, I've been good as well. Little overwhelmed. Did a bathroom renovation, so
Yeah, I want to see pictures.
little stressed, but overall definitely good. And I can't believe it's been like the year is halfway through. Like, this is our official. I don't even want to say the count out loud because the count is all messed up.
It's so many, a few episodes, whatever, bunch of episodes. But it's funny because I remember you were bringing up that, it's been 6 months into the year. And I remember stressing out because I do a word of the year every year. And I thought, oh my God, I'm already halfway done of the year of humanity. I only have 6 months to go to really accomplish whatever goals I have centered around humanity. So I think I needed to chill about that. But yeah, 6 months. It's been the first time we did one of these episodes. Oh my gosh. It's funny because a podcast is a story. It's not a piece of content. It's the next chapter of a story. So if you go back and read the early chapters, that's kind of funny. But
it is. I mean, even I was kind of reflecting on last pod, and I felt, there were some things off. So it just reminded me, kind of humbled me in a place where, like, we are definitely still working this out and what it looks like and what the lighting is like. Like, I felt like the lighting was a little much last time, and just different things. But I mean, every time we do this, like we said before, we add a little piece, we take a little piece away. And I mean, it's just really the journey and figuring out being in business, doing a podcast, claiming a podcast, like saying the word out loud, that we're not just playing around with our iPhones at this point.
Well, we kind of are, but we're going to go as far as we can before we have to level up to a proper studio with the fancy equipment. But right now, we don't have time or budget for that. We're just going for it because it's about what we're saying.
Unless someone wants to host us.
Hey. Anybody?
Everyone loved my wink from last time. They were like, "Oh my God, your eyes gonna fall out."
Well, people who really know podcasting probably watch some of our early episodes. They're like, "What the hell?" And they're like, "Are they good? Are they good girls?"
Yeah, right. So but it's coming along. So I definitely appreciate and love our check-ins. I love our podcast. I love being able to kind of talk through like our business plans and the things we have going on, and really, honestly, the reflection of the last 6 months. Even like we had our launch party last month.
Yeah. Oh, fun launch party. It was
Should we show them what we got?
Yes.
What we did. Hey,
here we go. Dun, da, da.
Da, da, da. Oh, we got a cheers.
Oh, yes. Cheers. To official launch party.
We had an official launch party to thank our friends, family, whoever could attend, how much we appreciate their support. And shout out to Mary Kyle, who did our logo.
She's the goat.
She's just amazing. So we just wanted to give a moment to say thank you to those people. And we appreciate who can come and who couldn't and who sent notes. And I mean, it was just very warming. And just to see like so many people that are genuinely proud of us and, are watching us grow and in real time. So
and it was great watching people meet each other too. Which I love that. But it was also a good chance for me to inspire me to finish a few projects around the house where people came over.
Right.
Yeah. It was great. I'm still on a high from that, I think. And so maybe we should do like a every 6 months do a party just because. Well, we actually talked about because I've talked, for some reason, we both meet a lot of people who are kind of in a similar boat. And we're talking about maybe having an informal happy hour once a month, or hey, let's just get together and know you're not alone. We're not going to talk strategy. We're not going to give advice. It's just going to be talk to other humans who are experiencing what you're experiencing. So stay tuned for that. But
This is a, I mean, I think I probably overused the word journey, but it just really feels that way in my reflection over not just the last 6 months. So I do want to talk a little bit about like this last 6 months and like what I've learned, like I've grown so much in my brand when I put I think about the first year and it was just so chaotic and scary.
Like, who are you?
But I honestly don't think, I went all in until the beginning of this year where I really honed in on my services. I really honed in on my offerings and how I can really help someone else and what that really looked like to me, what I didn't want to do, what I did want to do. Growing my client, working with, I have like a couple great, clients that who really helped me kind of push through my services and kind of hone in like what I really what I do with them and how I enjoy it. So this 6 months, my goal, I've been sitting down thinking about it. My goal is really to live in the seeds that I've sowed and like my services and things, and not add one more thing to my plate. That is my goal. Literally.
Is that a solopreneur thing, or does that mean we may have ADHD? Because I am the same
I don't
way.
know.
Because I saw a cute T-shirt that said "undiagnosed, but something ain't right."
Yeah,
I thought that could be fun.
Truly,
because I do the same thing where it's that shiny thing. Oh, I want to do that, and then I'll sit down, I'll go deep on that, and then I'm like, I didn't finish that other thing.
Yeah.
So you have to get back over to that. But your journey, it's funny because we kind of again came at this from different perspectives. You had a brand already, and for you it was deciding what you wanted that brand to be, and are you going to go all in and do that full time? And for me, it was like, I finally had my no obstacles, must do this, no choice but to succeed kind of moment. But I still had to then reel in what all that I do. I mean, it's funny because I met with a couple of wonderful women last week that are looking to start a business. And, and they were talking about what their services they wanted to offer letters and all that, and intro services. And the only advice I had, and this is advice I need to take to heart for myself, is do one thing. Do one thing, do it well, build that reputation, then add the next thing you do. Just because you can do everything doesn't mean you want to like bleh on your website, this is everything I do.
Yeah.
So that's for me, like I know when my first website was so cringe because it was basically just taking what was on my resume. Here are things I've done before. It doesn't mean that's what I want to do or anything like that. So it's finding that one thing and just going deep on it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's not even just about the services. It's about like the operations, the things I've built in AI, the things that I've, my plans, how to secure just all the planning that I've done in the last 6 months. I really want to take the time, slow down, take the time and see how it works. If it works, just give it time to percolate.
Well, summer's a good time to do that too. But also, what you just made me think of something. Don't build your frameworks and your systems before you have an idea of why you're building them. So that's,
Well, that's to take the step back. Like I think, and especially in having a brand for so long, like, I started again doing social media management and then web design as a thing, and I had to take a step back, right? Like, why are we building a site? What's the strategy behind it? And talking to people who, I even did a blog post recently about like, just wanting a website. People who come to you say, I just need a website. But do you? Like, let's talk about it. Like,
and the way AI is changing how brands are discovered is making not only the role of the website different, but the role of the writer creating content for it different. People aren't, you're not getting the clicks to your website because it's all about, AI answers. That's great. It just means you need to think, first of all, the role of the writer has changed to where you're more of a strategist and a thinker than you are actually writing, because AI's gotten really good at writing. The end of last year really sort of turned a corner. What's your favorite thing about AI writing?
For me, I love to massage my way through my thoughts.
Yeah, like a sparring partner.
It is, and we really need to talk about the shame, the AI shame of writing. Actually, and this person will probably send me a message after they see this podcast, but
that's okay.
I put out a social post and it was, I wrote it with AI, whatever, and I had the M dash in there, and they were like, they called me like, hey, just so you know, that's like a telltale.
I mean, they called you because you had an M dash?
Yeah.
Okay, what are we going to dress up for Halloween as?
M dash.
M dash is going to be a black t-shirt with a white thing, and then on the back, hashtag justice for M dash.
Justice. Because why? Like, you still have to have a brain. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Some people just like input, output, copy, paste, put it on there. But I mean, that's not how I use it. Like, I really, it's my words and my thoughts and my feelings, and I massage them out, and I so appreciate writing in content strategy and in AI and a good post, a good blog, but it's really me.
It is, so
it's me, but better.
I introduced Dark Susan to my AI because it actually was super easy. I just said, okay. I said, I know you're saying I'm brilliant, thanks, but I need to introduce you to Dark Susan. Anytime I ask a question, I want you to think about what are the counterpoints, what are the biases I may bring in, what am I missing, and bring that in. So now it's organically, I'll be like sparring about an idea, something I want to write about, and it'll say, well, Dark Susan would say this. I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thoroughly enjoy and the thing is, I'm not really a writer per se, right? Like, it's never really been my thing. We talk about like journaling and other things. Like,
I love writing.
That's not necessarily me. So it's been so comforting to be able to like get my thoughts out like organically and say, I did say that, but I really kind of meant this. And we go back and forth, and it's like, okay, well, how does this look? Does this feel like you? And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly where I wanted to be with that content.
It almost doesn't save you any time. It just helps you get your thinking clear. Well, it's upstream, right? It's like you're doing all that thinking and that sparring and that challenging up front. So when you go to write, that's the easy part.
Yeah. And honestly, I've taken the time to, we talk about the operations and stuff we put in place, is building out my AI and instructions, my voice, my brand voice, the things that like, so it's me, you know what I mean? It's me. So yeah, I just think we like justice for the M dash, like hashtag.
There's always the LinkedIn is notorious for this. People have like a goal to have gotcha moments, and it's like, who cares if you're saying something useful and it's from your heart and it's what you wanted to communicate? It doesn't matter anymore. I think we passed that. That just tells me where people are in their journey if they're still looking for gotchas and saying what tool to use.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, there's so many good uses of AI. Like I said, I even built an AI agent to help me find scholarships for my son for college, and it's just been it's so many uses that you can do to like just help in your life. And like for me with that tool, I send an email to him every Sunday. His job is to go through it, see if it's the right fit, and hopefully we can go to college for free.
Show me the money.
That's the goal. That's the goal. So it's so many good uses. So to bash it, I think the people who are currently bashing it hasn't taken the time to understand it.
Well, and it's again, we're not doing gotcha to people who haven't figured it out yet. What we're saying is it's a journey, and you start at one point in your, I like every Friday I go to an AI work group meeting that, and sometimes I understand what they're talking about, sometimes I don't. And that's okay, but I can always bring a question and get it answered and learn something I didn't know before, even if it's just hearing words I may not know where they fit in, because some of these are really technical people that show up. But then I might hear it later in another podcast. I'm like, oh wait, I have a point of reference for that. Right. So it's just, Fridays are my self-investment days.
How have you really been using AI in your content and in your writing?
I have a process I go through right now. I haven't really set up an agent or an assistant to do that, but I always start with the research. I set up different tabs within my Google Doc. One is assignment, if it's something I'm writing for somebody else, or if it's just my own thing. Do all my research, and then I start to talk about like kind of what is my point of view. And once I say what it is I want to say, my point of view, then I will bring in, start on outlining. Okay. And then I go in and I actually do write my first draft myself, because I love writing. I like to write the hook and all that. But then it's like, then I will have it, I'll go section by section and have it help me with, make sure my grammar is right. And am I being clear, and how I'm saying it. And we go back and forth. It's not fast. It's not faster than if I just sat down and wrote. But again, I bring that Dark Susan component in, because I say, okay, especially when I'm playing in the outline, this is what I think the article should be about. This is what I think it should say. What would Dark Susan say I'm missing? And it's actually kind of funny, have these funny conversations with AI, but I end up synthesizing to the point where I feel something really strongly. By the time the article is done, it's really all me.
Now, do you think that companies are obligated to say that this was produced or created via AI? Like, where are we at
Not
in the
anymore.
content space?
Not anymore. In fact, although I don't know if I said this before, but I have a personal AI policy that I put on my website, and I update it like every 6 months or so, telling exactly how I use AI.
Okay.
And I wrote a blog post on how to set up one for yourself, so you can go see. But
that's some good feedback, and I think for any solo, and no matter what your vertical is, whatever you're doing, but if you're using AI, and I've actually input in my client contracts as well, that some of your stuff will be produced via AI, and just so that it's very transparent and very clear. I think that's the biggest thing that takeaway. People aren't being transparent about how they're using AI.
I mean, and I even, for my client, like I was working on a brand foundation, I will use it for a lot of, like I use Notebook LM for a lot of competitor research, so I can kind of control the space that it's pulling from. But I will absolutely use it to synthesize my ideas. And it's a thinking partner. I'm not creating visual assets with it. Let me be clear on that. If you do that, then it's a whole different thing. Nobody really owns the rights to that content if you created it through AI. But as a thinking partner, sparring partner, setting up agents that are handling, especially as a solopreneur, the more agents you have set up, more little assistants, if you will. Maybe it's your CEO assistant, maybe it's your sales assistant, maybe it's your content assistant, operations. There's a lot of things that you could be doing faster to allow you to have more time to do the thinking, because that's really what you're bringing to the table is your unique sauce, who you are, how you think.
So how do you feel about graphics in that space? Like,
well, I
think we may have talked about this, but
I think it's pivoting.
It's still a topic that it keeps circulating. Like, so I don't know if did we talk about this? But in like the RVA Dine groups, like they are using posters to promote food. Now, I do think that's that's not transparent enough. Like, if you are making food, I want to see the food you make, not the AI picture of the food. So I completely understand people's take on that piece, but I don't know, like graphics has kind of come into play, or even video production. Not to share like a whole bunch, but I had a friend who produced a video, and for B-roll and some other components, they used some AI. Like they figured out what AI to put in there, and it turned into a thing. I'll just say that. So people noticed that it was an AI and got a little huffy puffy.
So the gotcha is kind of moving from content to other visual assets, I've noticed, because like anytime, like you can be scrolling on social media, and there might be something controversial, and half the people who agree with it are saying that's AI, and everyone else is like, no, this is true. And even with videos, people, sometimes it's hard to know if it's real or not. So, which goes back to the word humanity that I have for the year, and why we're doing this is one, we don't edit. No time. No,
and we're real people.
I know. We're real. So, and that's kind of like so when I think about,
even that could have been fake. No, honestly, I will say this. One problem that I am running into is with some of our older citizens, that they aren't understanding what's real and what's fake, and like having to, point out to them, hey, that's not real. And they're like, what? It's not? And, and that I do kind of have a problem with, because I don't want anyone to be deceived in that way.
And it's to the point where you start to question everything you see. So when it comes to, let's say, social media as an example, am I going to use AI to create social media assets, visuals? Probably not. I don't do a ton of social media, because even when I did do a ton of social media, most of my traffic, or most people are discovering, most people are discovering me through articles that I write, or people that I meet in networking. They're not finding me out. It's almost like you just need to show up for the other marketers on Instagram sometimes. It's not necessarily for prospective clients. So I don't do a ton of it. So I will kind of use Canva to do things. But we were
Well,
talking
remember
about,
when people give Canva a bad time,
Yeah,
and
I
now
know.
they're
I'm gonna
like,
use Canva
go back to
somewhat.
Canva because
I
y'all
know.
chat GPT
It's more
flyers.
real. No, but
Yeah.
but I'm not a designer. I'm not going to
Yeah.
go and pretend to be a designer. People like Mary,
Yeah.
that's a whole different
Yeah.
level.
She's taught me a lot.
Yeah.
She taught me that I am not a designer.
Yeah. It's like you might start to think you're a designer after a while, then you see like a real designer, you're like, oh, never mind.
Oh, you're like, no.
No.
Yeah.
But we all have our lanes and our things that we do. But but I would, like, we were talking about having like a series, Ask a Good Girl, a question. If there's anything that, you'd like to talk about, we could do a little question answer on social. But we could also, I think it'd be more meaningful if it was a video. If somebody asks us a question, because you can, by the way, you can send us a question on social or email or any way you want to reach us, all the ways. And why don't we just do a video that says, here's a question we got, and answer it on video? That way we don't have to go create any assets. It's just a video.
Yeah.
That's more real.
Yeah. It's just, it's a lot of, like I said, I don't really love the gotcha in that space. I think while we're all figuring it out, allow people to make mistakes and be human and kind of figure out what their lane and their path is. Like, I can appreciate a good, heck, I love like babies dancing and dogs doing, the latest. I mean, it's fun,
Don't get me started on cat videos.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, there's a place for it for
Yeah.
sure. But I think we have to allow the opportunity to grow and learn and kind of figure it out. But there, for sure, there's going to be down the line some moments where people are going to really have to disclose the things that they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
sure.
why, like, I mean, I think it's been over a year I had that policy out there. So, and it's funny because I was like, me and my analytics, data nerd that I am, but all of a sudden I got all this traffic from someone's email out in California pointing to my AI policy. And I thought somebody must have talked about it in their newsletter from California. And all of a sudden I got all this traffic. I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
Well, you added that in your business and your policy. Like, looking back, what are some of the things that you think you wish you had done in the first year as you started your business?
Oh, where's my magic 8-ball or my crystal ball? Well, it's funny because the journey is the journey, and you don't recognize things in your journey until you're ready to receive them. But the one thing I wish I had really embraced early on is Google Business Profile. And it's becoming even more relevant today because of the way AI is changing how brands are discovered. So I kind of, because I'm not, yes, I'm a local business, but I don't have a storefront. Honestly, I'm not restricted to only working in Richmond. So I was kind of hesitant to do it. So I finally got out there, and now I'm actually like putting content out there and putting updates out there. And then, once I have enough data, I'll write an article about that and put it out there. But
Well, you should interview me for it because I have stories.
okay, will do.
So I had a Google Business Profile for quite some time, and I have to say I got a ton of business from it because I kind of filled out everything, made sure it was relevant, up to date.
Were you actively seeking reviews for it?
Yeah, I did. I actually got
That's the
reviews.
part I've always forgotten to do.
I got reviews on it, but then while last year when I was kind of figuring out how to pivot my business and rebrand, I put it on pause. I put my Google business profile on pause, and then it disappeared.
They're fickle about things.
It disappeared. It was gone.
Did you have to recreate it?
I had to recreate it. So, hey, go to my Google.
Leave a review.
Leave me a review. Give me some love back on it because I had to start over.
Oh,
and I lost
gosh.
all my good reviews, all my good content, all my good equity in Google Business.
The longevity, because you had 10 years.
I'm not gonna lie, it was a little devastating for me.
Well, so always have a download of everything. But here's the thing: there's a guy I had done some work with who he had to change something on his PO box for his address in Google Business Profile, and they freaked out, said, "Nope, you need to start over." So it is. Okay, so never pause.
Never
change any of your settings.
And honestly, here's some feedback for it. Update it. If you have something new, if you have a newsletter coming out, if you connect your content, connect a post every now and then. I have a client who, I'm be honest with you, they didn't even think about doing it, but they're a service business.
Yeah.
And I put them on, they get half of their business from just that profile. They are I've seen it go up, especially if you're service consulting. I get it. You didn't have a storefront, so you think I think that might have been
Yeah.
like the old school way of thinking, like this is
Yeah.
for people with storefronts,
Yeah,
but
I'm not
it's
selling
not.
donuts or coffee or anything. So.
Right, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. And if you have certain criteria, if you're like a black-owned business, any of the other things out there, like women-owned, they really highlight these things. So, because these are things that people are looking for at times. So, like, go to mine and like it.
We'll put
Hit a star if you've been my client. If you work with me, you leave a review.
I'll leave you a review. How's that? You leave me one. Yeah. I have not been asking for reviews because again, my business is much newer. So I definitely, but I did start putting content out there. But I want to. My pivot I want to make is not just saying, oh, there's a new blog post about XYZ and putting it out there, but to maybe pull different thoughts from it and just have them be standalone content, or you don't have to necessarily click through because it's building that reputation with that, because people aren't so much clicking through.
Yeah.
So
they're not.
I'm trying to kind of test some of that as well.
Well, I mean, I think we've talked a lot, Chloe. We went through our dashboard earlier, but like the things, the metrics that are like shaping what we used to know have completely changed. Do you want to talk a little bit about, because I know you're really in the know of like what is considered like good metrics nowadays? Like I feel like it changes so often. Like I don't even know anymore. I mean, that's never been my thing. Like I'm definitely the creative, like, hey, this is cool right now, let's do it, and hopefully the metrics match. But you're definitely that's terrible.
I'm a nerd.
But you're kind of the opposite. But like,
I love a good dashboard. Well, it's changed because it's now looking at discovery and signals and intent, and it's no longer sessions don't matter. The things that were like the tried and true, like when I worked in DTC for products, it was like there was all these metrics you had to measure, and it was like a game of optimizing for inches. And now it's like I've redone my dashboards to be answering questions rather than just giving me numbers. So it's like you want to know where people are, how are people finding your content is a different question than saying where are they coming from to come to my website.
So you just said that, like, so how important is like the customer journey in that space?
It's important, but it's not the metrics. They're two different things. Okay. Because, like, for example, like I'm working on a brand foundation for somebody, and the next step of the who are we, it's who are we serving. So the ICPs will develop those, and then the next step is let's build what that customer journey looks like. Well, actually, you might want to do the brand story first, and what are the pain points and all that, and then from there, okay, so for each of these ICPs, ideal client profiles, where are they? And they each have a different journey. So what kind of content do they need at different places? And what you find is it's not like you have content for all those places in their journey just sitting on your website. You've got to go out and find out where are they and what kind of content do they need to know. So then you have to map your data at the back end to be measuring the right things. But until you know what that customer journey is, that buyer journey, it's hard to really know. But it's still, there's general questions that, like I built drill downs in my data studio, where it's like, okay, so for everybody I've created categories in Google Console, because that is what Google thinks of me. That's what their opinion of me is. And people aren't necessarily clicking, so I don't worry about the clicks. I look for the visibility and the impressions, but then I categorize them, and I can say, okay, for people who are looking for home and design, what articles on my site did they read? What pages did they go to? And so your questions just start to change. Your questions are around what's going to convert a buyer at the end of the day. So it's an evolving thing. I'm in the middle of, I wouldn't say I've completely done revamping my dashboards, but I'm working on it.
Well, I think a lot of what you said also speaks to an existing brand, but some of what you said are things that you brought to my attention. So when I was like, I think back to last year, I was like, you know what? I really haven't built like personas. I really haven't figured out my customer journey. Like it was so many things. So what advice would you give to someone who is just starting out that doesn't have that data that we're like trying to fix, but the data that they're trying to build?
Hire me. I can set up a dashboard for you. And that's
but your brand story, like
your brand story. Well, it's who are you for?
Right.
What is
that's what I mean.
And the who are you for is maybe more than one person. Start with one though, and then what are their pain points? Build out what the brand story components are.
And this goes for any business. Like you really need to figure out these things before you start. Like I can tell you, like that, like who my client really is.
Well, plus I think doing the work to create that brand story, which that could be a whole another topic we go into, but you're also looking at the competitors to find out, what is our unique selling proposition? How are we different than other people? And then, you do the little, the 3 Venn diagram thing, which I love a good Venn diagram. But, there's the where you
just a nerd.
Who you are, who your competition is, and what your client wants, and try to compete in the area where you're going to win first. If you start dipping into trying to where your client's strength is, you're going to be off your back foot a little bit, and you have to spend a little more to get what you want. So, make it easy. Start
so
don't
easy. Put more dip on your chip.
Well, exactly. I love that. No, more dip on the chip. Well, also, I think that if you, when you're starting down the journey, it's so easy to overthink it, but just don't worry, just do it, because every quarter you're going to go back and revisit it anyway. Because my whole marketing context Frisbee analogy, I told you. Whereas like if you picture Frisbee that's upside down, that thing, I finally did a graphic for it. I had AI do it. It's not very good, but it's better than I could do. But either the brand's going to change, the competition is going to change, or your client's going to change, or the environment that we're operating in is going to change. So don't just think, oh, I got this done, put it aside and move on. You need to go back and revisit that if you want to stay relevant.
Well, that kind of brings me back to, like we talked about in the beginning, like that 6 months and taking that time to look at the things you've implemented and see what might need to change. But don't start anything new. Like, figure out where you are. What you have. Yes. Figure out what worked, what didn't work, and then kind of move from there. It's a slow process.
Yeah. In fact, we've talked about, we need to get on the calendar, but we want to do a bit of a regroup retreat for You Good Girl, because we launched this saying, let's see what we can do with this. But I think it's time, there's MVP, minimal viable product, that, we got it. We know how to do this, but what else can we do to be of service to listeners? Yeah. So we're kind of excited to have those conversations. Yeah. And then we also talked about in December, which anybody who works for themselves knows that unless you're Santa Claus, you've got a slow December. So
Santa's busy. Most busy. People aren't.
But we also know that we need to be hitting the ground day one on January 1st. So we even talked about maybe a larger kind of a workshop type of thing, maybe locally, maybe we do Zoom, I don't know, where, because again, I know last year trying to do some of this and I felt very alone, I was working in a bubble, and I think, having people around you. Yeah.
And you just feel good about closing out the year, being prepared, knowing what you're going for, your goals, having a set in place. And I mean, that's really how the pod started. I mean, we were doing
that anyway.
Yeah, we were doing that. I mean, we did it in January, but I mean, December was so slow. So we would love to bring that around. And also we are considering, Ask a Good Girl, like doing some questions and answers. So we'll get out to you all a way to ask us questions, and we can go back and like answer them as well, because I think a lot of what we said today really targeted new businesses and people trying to grow, and really people in that 0 to 2 year time frame. So
and honestly,
learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't pause your Google business. No, don't do that. Don't change the address. Like, it's so many things that like we could always talk about, and don't be ashamed to use the M dash. Forget those people.
Justice for the M dash. I am so gonna be able to take this black T-shirt and put a little. Because I like the M dash. I mean, I used to write all the time.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a writer. I had no idea what it was until it ended. Till it ended up in stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's cute. Like, I get it. Like, I take a breath. Like, I get it. So, but
the ellipses are kind of cool too. But I try to write like I talk sometimes, and sometimes I get you into trouble too. So there's that. But But no, sure. It's exciting. I mean, these journeys are great. Yeah. They're never done. One of the things that I keep coming back to is there's no there. So you think, I'm on this journey, and when this, then blah, blah, blah. No, you get to the next level and you're just going to the level after that. There's no, I'm done. There's never like, because we were talking about that. Like, do you feel like, oh, I need to get my business to where it's like making X amount of money or this and that. It's great to have a goal, but it's the journey is where the work is. It's not in the goal. And once you get to that goal, if you reach it, what do you just stop? You
Right.
just, so you're never, there's no there. You're always.
I definitely agree,
Okay.
and I've definitely come to terms with that. I think that was probably the biggest thing because I'm so much further along than I had been, but I still have so much further to go.
And how much of that was you changing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
That's definitely, there's nothing like finding out who you are by
Yeah, I have
putting
definitely
yourself out there.
found out who I am through this process.
This has been a good therapy session today.
Yes,
I appreciate
thank you, everyone. This has been good today. We have more episodes to come in the future, so like, subscribe, do all that cool, fun stuff, and ask us questions. We're here for you guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Till next time.
Next time. Boop. And this doesn't have alcohol.
No,
it's
it's just
fun juice. Bye.